What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get right into it. The stories of the day. Well, first of all, happy Friday. Um, the Supreme Court, hearing the case of the Trump administration trying to implement the Alien Enemies Act to deport the Venezuelan migrants, more of them, because they've already deported many, was turned down today. Now, the thing is that it was turned down. It wasn't dismissed on the merits. It was turned down 7-2. And Alito, I think, and I forgot the other guy's name, the black black male, him, he decided to dissent as well. Now, it's not about saying that it's wrong, that they made a decision. They didn't make a decision whatsoever. Now, what I mean by that is, if you listen to them yesterday, and they said something to the effect, different ones that said something to the effect of, one said, it's like, catch me if you can, for one. I don't know, Justice Thomas. Catch me if you can, for one. And then the other, one of the other ones said that, this particular thing that they're doing is going to lose because everybody deserves due process. It's just in the Constitution. You haven't brought anything to me to say that everybody shouldn't have, their rights. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, most of us, we're not in the law, but just an average thinking person would say, you would just judge that on the merit that it doesn't make any sense. In fact, one would question, why would something that had no merit actually reach the Supreme Court? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but when I grew up, the Supreme Court was the last resort. You didn't go all willy-nilly or went straight to the Supreme Court unless it was something very dire that needed to be decided, like right now. And this is one of those things, but they went into a lower court before, the Fifth Circuit. Now, the Fifth Circuit is a more conservative leaning court. Now, here's the thing. They had no merit to even rule the way they did that would force the other team, the prosecution, or not prosecution, but the people who were trying to fight for this, it would force them to take it to the Supreme Court to stop them from sending these other people, from Venezuelan people, to that prison in El Salvador. So the courts, after they said what they said, the Supreme Court yesterday, basically saying there's no merit for this, they didn't rule that it didn't have any merit. What they ruled was send it back down to the Fifth Circuit. Now, one will ask the question of, why didn't they just rule? Well, because that would validate what they did. I had to ask this question and dug a little deeper, and the Supreme Court had the right decision. That was to not say that it didn't have any merit, even though they know it didn't. They sent it to the Fifth Circuit because it's an admonishment to the Fifth Circuit saying, do your damn job. This should have never seen us. You should have never ruled that it was okay because there's no merit to it. We got this on our docket and we looked at it and there's no merit. So we're not going to do your job, Fifth Circuit. Take this case back down to where it belongs. It does not deserve, it doesn't meet the requirements yet to be in the Supreme Court. Basically, you brought us trash and we kicking that shit back to you. This has no merit. But we're not going to say that because that would justify us and put us on the ringer for a decision that should have been decided at a lower court. Don't be bringing us this shit. Bring us the real shit. Don't be bringing us this trash that you should handle. There's no reason to bypass due process for these people. None whatsoever. So that's what the Supreme Court said. And kudos to the Supreme Court. Kudos. Now it's got to go back down. I know people want it big time for them to just say that they ruled it on the merits and said, hey, look, this is nothing. It's a nothing burger. You have nothing. But then that would validate that it should have been in the Supreme Court, and it should not have been. So that's what happened today with the Fifth Circuit. And what's so crazy about it, Judge Clarence Thomas and Alito literally said, this is enough. They need to go. Yeah, they just need to go. Nothing on the merits. I mean, there's nothing there. There's no legal precedent to do it, nothing. It's just them wanting to do it. And those two are sold and bought like cattle. Because it just makes no sense that you would literally, and Kavanaugh is in the middle, but because he was in the middle, he still went for the against it. So it ended up being 7-2. It's just insane. Now, the other case that's going on is at the federal judge stage, and the federal judge is pissed off, right? They're not cussing out anybody, that's my thing, but highly upset that, the Kilmar Abrego Garcia case, that they keep trying to prolong everything. And what it appears, for both of these situations, what it appears like is that the government, just like when Donald Trump was trying to fight for him saying, oh, I won the election, and he had all these fake cases and he lost like 60 of them or whatever. He did like 65, he lost like 64, and the other one wasn't a loss. It was kind of like a go back and fix it and bring it back, and they never brought it back. So all those cases he lost, they were frivolous because they never had any evidence. Remember, the lawyers used to come, if you remember this, and argue a statement, but never had any facts. So do you have any facts for that? Or do you have any facts that it was the case was bad, or the situation, the election was bad? We're not saying that the election was rigged. We're saying that it was unfair. You said it was rigged, but they didn't have to bring any evidence. It got kicked out. You don't have any evidence? Nope, bye. Why are you bringing these frivolous cases to court? It sounds like that's what they're doing now. They have no evidence that these men have did anything wrong. None. It's all in public persona. They're putting it out there. Just like they said, oh, we're having an invasion of people, and they never could bring you a video of showing like an invasion of people. It'd be like a few hundred all together. They make it say it was thousand upon thousand, a few hundred people coming a day or so. Just normal. Invasion. This thing right here sounds like they're going to court and they're saying, oh, we got to get these people out of here because they're attached to the government and we're getting invaded and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what war are we at? And they're trying to trick around. Well, we're at a war of, humanity. It's just stupid shit. And the judges, thank God, haven't been bought and sold enough to fall for this BS. Because in all honesty, there is nothing that they're bringing to the table. This judge says, you guys need to. This one has already said that you guys need to bring Kilmar back. No doubt about it. You got to bring him back, facilitate it. And they're trying to play with the word facilitate. So it finds out that Kristi Noem and others aren't trying to bring this guy back. Even saying in meetings that there's no chance that he'll ever come back. And the judge caught wind of that and was saying it seems like she's not doing anything for it. And their lawyer said, well, that's not true. And it's like, wait, and everybody laughed. It's like, well, that's what she said, but you're in court saying that what she said is not real. So what's going on with that is that Marco Rubio submitted a declaration invoking the secret, what's it called, the state secret privilege, which is basically saying we don't have to tell the courts or anybody what we're doing because it is highly secret what we're doing, and we can't let anybody in the open see it, not even in behind closed doors with the judge. Now, y'all remember there were secret documents that Donald Trump had at his Mar-a-Lago, right? All over the place that people could have seen. Getting there. All right, so he showed that document to some group of ladies. You can hear their voices in the back. And all these different things about them having that information out and about. When they had that case, and I think it was in Atlanta, that judge got to see the documents. And there's another one that was in Mar-a-Lago. That judge that lady got to see the documents and tell them, oh, which ones they can allow the prosecution to see and all stuff like that. But she was allowed to see them. How is it now judges can't see the reason why you sent somebody overseas and it's supposed to be secretive? How is that? That wasn't your first move. That was your last resort. And to me, it sounds like they're trying to hide behind an exclusive government situation so they don't like get seen for not having any information. I hope this judge continues to put her foot on them and say, hey, look, bring me the information or I'm throwing this shit out and you have to bring him home. I hope she keeps putting her foot on him like that, because I truly believe this regime is lying through their teeth. They don't have any information. They're just grabbing Latin people they don't want in this country, whom they've deemed criminal gang members because of tattoos. It's insane, because you got to think about if it's all when I don't know who was the president. I want to say it was Donald Trump was president at the time. If not him, Obama. Where the head of the FBI said the biggest or the largest threat, domestic threat in the United States is the KKK, the white nationalists. They are the largest threat of domestic violence in this country. Were we trying to go gather up racist ass white people and push them to Sweden or some shit? Or Norway? These people have a history of violence that goes back hundreds of years. These people ain't been in the country hundreds of years. They have a systemic criminality. Their parents are unalivers, killers, murderers, rapists. And they're still in the group in which was started to do that type of thing to specific people. Mostly black, but any minority could get it. And they're trying to apply that these people who have not been named a domestic threat, no FBI has ever called them a domestic threat, they just put that shit out there. Alternative facts. And all of a sudden, these men are target when the real criminals are in office. I was listening to John Leguizamo. I don't know if you guys seen him lately. Hey, Chrissy sister said, leave my beloved Norway out of it. That's funny. But I don't know if y'all seen John Leguizamo lately. I saw him. He looking kind of crazy with the all white or blonde hair. I don't know what he's doing with that. Maybe it's for a movie. But he made some sense out of this situation and saying, we've been trying to get Trump, meaning like the sane people been trying to get Trump out of office, or him go to jail for something, because of the fact of him breaking laws. But the people that we should be going after are the people who are doing the dirt for Donald Trump. It's the Kristi Noems. It's the Marjorie Taylor Greens. It's the gym. What's it? One of the gyms. It's two gyms um, that are in the Senate and the House. Uh, it is Leslie Graham. It is, you know, all of those people are the ones holding up us, the Cash Patels. We need to be digging into their past and finding out, and even watching them right now, what laws they're breaking. Because if they are breaking laws, which I know they are, to do what he's asking them to do, those people should be charged and put in jail for doing said things just for political reasons. Start taking them out, Donald Trump falls. Those are the ones that need to be going to jail. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the crazy things that they're doing. That I'm not a lawyer, but I think that lawyers should be looking into it. ACLU or some other fund or league needs to be looking at the crimes they're committing, because they are committing them on behalf of Donald Trump, and they don't have any kind of immunity in the breaking laws. And on top of that, it's going to have to be also laws broken in states, not necessarily in federal, because Donald Trump can be able to get them out if it's a federal offense. They need to make sure that they're breaking the laws in states, and in those states, arrest them for the things they do wrong. Charge them for the things they do wrong. Prosecutors start to think of ways to charge them. You got to take out the foundation, and Donald Trump will crumble. Because if he's doing anything wrong, if he's not doing anything illegal, I get it. But if he's doing stuff illegal, that's what you need to do to pull him down. John Leguizamo said that, and I was like, because I'm sure, because I listened to a couple of his videos, and I did the research on Hitler, and I was talking about that and explaining that. And next thing I know, I saw a video of him talking about it, and he was talking about how you can stop it. And he was telling you like what's happening with Hitler and all stuff like that, the stages in which Donald Trump are going as Hitler. I'm like, yeah, I was like, John Leguizamo, we here. And then I just saw his video, and I was like, whoa, he's right. It's hard to get Trump, but you got to get his minions. Then he has nobody to go forward through this. So that's one idea. If you see that, go check it out. If not, you just keep it moving. All right. Another thing that happened today is that Mike Johnson in the House was denied that one big, beautiful bill that Donald Trump wanted. Like I told y'all, this man is remedial. He's a child. I mean, to name it, the one big, beautiful bill, BBB, it's slow. I mean, why don't you name it like what it's actually about? You know what I'm saying? Just name it what it's about. Nope. One big, beautiful bill. They named it that because Sir Dipshit wanted it. That tells you right there, there's no grown-up manning the ship, driving the vehicle. There are a bunch of sycophants and one 78-year-old fifth grader. It's insane. But they rejected that bill today. Thank goodness. And we got to see, before they voted for that bill, Donald Trump had to put out one of his truths. Fake ass truths, that's what we call it. Put out one of his fats, fake ass truths. And we're going to read what he put out. What he put out was, Republicans must unite. The one big beautiful bill, not only does it cut taxes for all Americans, but it would kick millions of illegal aliens off of Medicaid. There's no proof that that millions of them are on Medicaid. It's just, he's just saying, espousing it off lies. This man never has numbers. You ever notice he's so enamored by the word million and billions? That's all he talks in. He never gives you like, oh, there's 500,000. Oh, there's 50,000. Oh, there's 75,000. No, he always says millions and billions and billions and millions. Because in his head, sales. You get people excited about millions and billions of dollars. If I told you $50, you're not going to be excited about that. So I'm going to give you millions, like a fifth grader. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of people. And it gets you to do things. It's childish. The country would suffer greatly without this legislation, with their taxes going up 65%. What? Anyway, it will be blamed on the Democrats, but that doesn't help our voters. We don't need grandstanders in the Republican Party. Stop talking and get it done. It is time. Stop talking. The dude that talks all the damn time. Get up and give a speech that should last 15 and 20 minutes. It's an hour and 35 minutes. And in that hour and 35 minutes, you could cover everything he said in 35 seconds because the man repeats himself. Big, beautiful bill. I mean, it's big, it's beautiful, and it's one and the big, beautiful bill. That's him. Whole fucking hour. Just talking about nothing. Oh, and the snake comes from, and oh, and this and the other, and I want to be president in 2028. It's all over the fucking place. The man's brain is filled with a bunch of non-sentences, adjective, verbs, and just makes no sense. I'm serious. It should automatically be the 25th Amendment. He is not capable of running anything. It's just insane. You sit there and watch it. You'd be like, what the hell is he talking about? He was over in Saudi Arabia just giving spewed speeches. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And they looking at him like that. He goes, he would just, I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump is secretly gay. I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes with these men, but he's secretly gay. He's always caught up and enamored with their looks and always talking about, oh, I'm doing, and think about it. Back in the day, if you're as old as I am, 54 years old, you knew the gay people in your community. Now everything's a little different, right? But you gotta look back at Donald Trump's gay area. He does this shit. He's handsome and he looks nice. Yeah, he's just strong. He's powerful. That's some gay shit. That's a gaydar. Like, ain't nothing wrong with being gay, but he keeps acting like he's not. That's some gay shit. Donald Trump looks at these men like he wants to date them. It's scary because he's out here acting like, oh, you know, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. I'm not, bro. They ain't strong. Remember, he wrote me a love letter talking about Kim Jong-il, whatever you say his last name, the leader of North Korea. He wrote me a love letter, and me and what's his name get along very well. Putin. He likes me, and I like him. I want to go behind the scenes without my people to speak to him. And probably came back. You should have looked at his knees when he came back. Everybody's looking at his orange face. You probably should have looked at his knees. I guarantee you, his knees had a little dust on them when he was back there along with the dude. I guarantee it. Because something's up. This dude is too enamored. And I have never heard a president or a vice president, woman even, just gaga over a person's looks and them sending me love letters. It just doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever. But it's okay. Or as Chan Chris just said, but it's okay. You could be that way, but quit acting like you're not that way. Come out the closet already. Because it's just weird how you just fawn over these people. And it's not about the people's work. It's not about America's work you need to be doing. We worked on some stuff today. It's going to be great for the American citizens. I got this, they got $600 billion that they're going to be investing in us, and that's going to go into small businesses. Small businesses are going to be receiving, $50,000 or whatever it is if you qualify, and parts of this money is going to be used for that. That's the American business. You coming out telling me how a person looks handsome and I did a lot for him. What the fuck are you talking about? It's some of the weirdest stuff. I mean, it's just, how is he leading something? Bringing back no value. He's like, stop talking and get it done. It's time to fix the mess that Biden and the Democrats gave us. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Slow. Because that bill is not doing anything but taking away health care for almost 14 million people. 13.5 or 7, something like that. But rounded up, 14 million people are going to lose their health care. And these are people who are on it that are elderly, that are poor, of course, that are retired, things of that nature, or disabled. And they're talking about taking it away from them. And then those who are poor again, they're talking about by hundreds of millions getting rid of parts of SNAP. And so I don't know about you, but it shouldn't be hard to find out the fraud in SNAP or anything else. All you got to do is have them qualify again. That's all a big deal. But to change the qualifications for it maybe, and then they have to reapply. But I'm gonna gather at least 95% of these people deserve what they got, if not more. If you have any fraud like rampant, I highly doubt it. I'm pretty sure the fraud is somewhere in the single digits, like 1 to 2, maybe 4% at the most. And you're going to mess up life for everybody for 3 to 4% of people. It kills me how these people are doing everything they can to poor people just so that rich people don't pay their fair share. And hear me clearly. We're not telling rich people to pay like extraordinarily more than they did before, right? We're not telling them to do that. We're saying pay your fair share, meaning if I'm paying let's say if I'm making at the very lowest, that if you're making $15,000 a year, you're paying 15%, around 15% of your money into taxes. And how are you telling me the average rich person is putting in 8% of their taxes? A little bit over 8.5 or something like that. 8% of their taxes, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you're giving. While a poor person is giving 15%. I don't care so much about how much you're making. My point is, you at 15 million should at least be paying 8.5%. You shouldn't be at 0, and you shouldn't be, at a percentage where you're paying less than the poor people. Now, people who are making less than like 500,000 and stuff like that, they're paying like 35%. People who are making just in the low millions are paying damn near 50% of their money. Then the people who are hundreds of millions and billions are paying 0, 8%, averaging out to about 8.5 or something like that percent. That's less than state tax for some. In California, my state tax is 10%, 10.25 or something like that percent. And you're going to tell me that my state tax, my federal tax is going to be less than my state tax? It's insane that these people get all this money, and here they are trying to squeeze out money out of the poor, and then tell them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while you're stealing their strings and the soles off of their shoes. You want them to walk around with soulless like leg wrappings, because that's pretty much all it is. And you're walking around buying a new jet, a new yacht, and taking what you should have been paying in taxes and buying up property and building yourself to be a richer and richer person, while telling the poor people, get off your ass and do something. Well, we're going to get off our ass and do something. We're going to stop buying from your rich ass. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start doing something against y'all, because I think it's time that we stop relying on y'all. If we can get it ourselves, we should be able to get it ourselves. We can bypass you in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Thinking about it, working on it, planning on it, strategizing. I won't sleep until I figure it all out. because I can't stand that people out here trying their damnedest to put the screws to people who already feel like life sucks because they can barely get by, barely pay their bills, and you're not trying to put any relief into their life. You try to make it worse while blaming a Democrat or a Republican. I blame all of you. I blame Republicans more because you never come up with a plan. Their only plan, this plan right here, ain't about helping American citizens whatsoever. It's about helping the billionaires. This is what I'm saying, Republicans. Listen, your team is trying to put out a bill that's going. It doesn't discriminate via Democrat or Republican. It discriminates on the fact that money has to come from somewhere, and if you are a Republican and poor, it's coming from you. You're a Republican and middle class, it's coming from you. If you're a Republican and just mildly rich, it's still coming from you. You're a Republican and you're extraordinarily rich, they still coming out to everybody else. They never want to pay their fair share. And I don't understand how any American that's not rich aren't pissed off that they're not paying their fair share. If you're pissed off the fact that you got to pay 50% taxes, 50% of your taxes, and you're making like $1.5 million a year, then you need to stop getting on that Republican team and take your greedy ass over to the Democrat or independent team where they're actually creating bills so that you can survive and not be taxed up the yin yang. But these people are literally trying to gouge you with import taxes, therefore everything goes up, then gouge you for your state taxes. The evil things are taking away your health care, and then when you're kicked off the health care because their idea is that you was on this health care fraudulently, you're punished that you can't get any health care anywhere else. So what are you gonna do? Just die? You're gonna go to ER and just bring up our rate, so now it's gonna shoot up to like $700 probably max for you if you're just one person a month when you was paying like $20 a month. You ain't gonna be able to make that, so you got to go to ER, right? And the ER is gonna bring up the prices of our premiums, and we're already paying $500-$600. Our premium is gonna go up to about $700-$800 because we gotta subsidize what the hell is going on with these people who don't have health care because the government chose to kick them off based off some fake ass fraud stuff. You should learn that, and I'm speaking to these Republicans, you should learn these immigrants that they are kicking out and you guys are applauding that they're kicking them out are not people who have committed crimes. The majority of them have never committed a freaking crime. The only ones they can even say that have committed a crime is like 12% out of all of them. And those are low-level crimes, not unaliving people. And you want to treat people who've never committed a crime like that? That's worse than most criminals get treated in America. And you see what they're doing to them, guess what they're going to do to you? What's to say that when they say, oh, you were taking money from the fraud, how long you been taking money from fraud? Oh, you've been taking, they said illegal aliens taking Medicaid. They don't even qualify for it. But let's say the legal aliens, they're going to call you an illegal alien. Then they're going to say, oh, you was taking Medicaid, you owe this money back, or we're going to kick you out of the country. Now pay attention to what they say when they say they define illegal aliens. Because they're in court messing with the 14th Amendment, trying to make all of us illegal aliens. But you don't see that. What you see is them attacking these Latin people that you don't like for various reasons. These Venezuelans. These illegal immigrants, which you don't like for certain reasons. When they're really just undocumented and they're not illegal. But you don't care. As long as you can attach some hate to somebody, you will. And they're in court trying to prove that these people were illegal, and they can't do it yet. But yet these people are spending nights in one of the most dangerous prisons in the world. never committing a crime. Put yourself in a position, close your eyes, and realize the freedoms that you have. Sitting here chilling, drinking when you want to, doing lies when you want to, eating when you want to, go out and take a walk when you want to. All that freedom gone based because somebody got hate towards you, not because you did anything wrong. Can you imagine these people being swooped up on, put into braces, shackles on their hands and their feet, bent over? No respect, bent over. They're bending them over on chains and cutting off all their hair. How people are attached to their hair is insane. Understand me? They do everything to make themselves look good. You debase these people. You turn them into these zombie-like individuals who knows that they're getting square meals, who knows that they're getting clean water, who knows they're getting a shower, none of that shit. And you got that going on in somebody's life that they've never done anything to you whatsoever. They came here for good reasons and they were abiding by the laws. The government just turned on them out of nowhere, which means if they can do it to them, they can do it to you. But you're so caught up in your hatred, you're fucking your own self over. So much so, there are men who have married interracially, white men, didn't think that their Latin wife or Asian wife wasn't going to have a problem, and they couldn't get back into the country. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, you need to check your hate. You need to check your hate. Your hate will destroy everything for you. Everything. It has nothing to do with the individual you hate. It has everything to do with you. It was just insane to see what they did to these people. The pain they must be going through. The fear. The one gay kid that was, a hairstylist. Tattoo of his mom and dad on his arm. This kid loved his mom and dad. Cut hair and everybody loved this kid. Nice, sweet young person. There is nobody to say this guy was ever a bad person. They have no evidence of saying this dude did anything wrong. He got no due process and got treated like he was in a gang. The kid has never been in a gang. Can you imagine the fear he has being in a place with a bunch of men that have harmed people, not our people that we sent over there. That prison is filled with gang members, like real life, kill you in a heartbeat gang members, which we're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes when we get into the more of the detail of what's going on. Well, once Donald Trump sent that text, the truth or whatever it was, they turned it down. They went against Donald Trump. I was like, okay. I think it was 16 to 21, somewhere around 5 or so Republicans, said they weren't going to vote for it. It wasn't doing right by the people. I was like, oh shit, where'd that come from? We're going to watch a little bit of that too, what they had to say.
All of us are very disappointed with the progress or lack of that was made. I'm done with smoke and mirrors.
But I have to now admonish my colleagues on this side of the aisle. This bill falls profoundly short.
The current version falls short of these goals and fails to deliver the transformative change that Americans were promised.
Exactly. Now, they didn't go into detail as to what it was they were saying, but it had to be the fact that you're about to take some of these guys' states are like 30-40% of the people there are on Medicaid or Medicare. Hundreds of thousands in certain people's community. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has 111,000 or something like that people in her small area. She's in Atlanta, or not Atlanta, in Georgia. It's a small town she's in. 111,000 people are on this right here, or welfare. It hasn't gotten up to her just yet. But there is no way that they're going to pass that bill when that's going to happen to her. I don't know about her. She'll probably do anything, but because she's a Trump, like deep in the Trump world, do whatever he asks. Power is a big thing for her because, again, she is like the female version of Trump. She's as stupid as can be and happy about it. I mean, gets caught every time. I just enjoy sometimes watching it. It's sad though, because I'll watch her demise and she'll just break down the devious things they do. I don't know if y'all remember back doing one of the investigations of Joe Biden and his son, rather, and they try to incorporate Joe Biden. Byron Donalds. He doctored a form, and he had on a like a projector. And as he was reading it, AOC reached out and basically, after he read it, I guess her turn came up next, so she had a gesture to say after he was done, point of order, and she called him out on it. He just sat there looking like she was being scolded like a little kid, knowing he gave out some doctored information. And this is the mode of operation, right, of this party. You notice you don't see on the Democrat side, I haven't seen it, you can point it out to me, where they give false information and the Republicans say, wait a minute, that's a false document. They come with facts that Republicans only deny with words. They never implement anything. Let me put in this document that says this is what happened. Can I put that on the record? You rarely see them do that. If you do, it's something crazy. It's out of some right nut-wing article. This lady, AOC did it to Byron Donalds. That was back then. This time around, we got the same situation, but different people. Marjorie Taylor Greene is literally got a photo up of a guy, but it looked like he had the FU finger up, but he had a peace sign like this. She cut out this finger just so this other finger sticking there. Cut the photo off like right there, just so that finger sticking up. It was like he said he was going to come in and win before this case and blah, blah, blah. And this is the photo that he had. She literally got her aide. I'm going to need you to cut that out. It's going to have him looking like he's giving the FU finger. We're going to go out there and do it. She plotted, had it printed. Okay? Wrote something to respond to it. I doubt she wrote it. She had somebody else write it. They went through work to talk trash and make up shit and not really bring real shit to the table. This lady's getting paid $100,000 a year to do the people's work. And she out here playing games like a fifth grader, or better yet for her, she's about as dumb as fifth grader, but this is some teenage shit. Out here just making stuff up. This is like serious shit. And they're out there doctoring photos. This is the second time. This is their mode of operation. She doctored the photo, put it out there, tried to say what's going on, and thank God, I can't remember her name, but she came out, another representative, and she came out. I don't know if she was a senator or not. I think she was, but she comes up, and I'll look up her name in a minute, and just calls her out and said, yo, this is the real photo. Everybody laughs at her, and she's got the gavel just hitting it. Point of order, and she just looks so stupid. I love that lady for making her look so stupid. Didn't take much for her to do it except for be a person with common sense. That's it. A person with common sense made her look like a complete dumbass. And I'm like, how in the world are you leading something when you won't even do your homework? How hard could it have been to find real information to tell your constituents about what was going down? You did no homework. You shouldn't be paid for bringing in fake information. And how does a party? This is why I say I can't stand the Republican Party, because you allow this type of thing. There should be some kind of admonishment in the committee for bringing up lies, falsely representing somebody and what they said just for your own sake, for your own benefit. I mean, I don't know. Could he sue? Whatever. It's like you basically misrepresented the truth and his reputation, try to destroy it, and thank God. Here's the thing that gets me about this too. How did that lady have the real photo? They all should have the same information, right? So they knew the other side of the team had the same information that they had. So they got the information because they all should have the same documents. And knowing the other people on the other side had the real documents, they still put out fake information. Jesus Christ, man. I'm going to tell you right now, Republicans, these MAGA people don't like you. They hate you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Democrats ain't paying no mind to this stupid shit they're doing. They ain't lying to us. They lying to you. We get the facts. We look it up. We don't trust any of them. We don't trust Republican, Democrats, or independents. When they say something, we look that shit up. If there's nothing to validate it, it ain't happening for me. Like, for instance, in that same video, the first time I saw that gavel thing, I saw like on a, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, had a laugh track on it. And so right after that, I went to go look for the original. And in the video itself, the one lady says what she has to say, and she has a document up, and then, you know, MTG's hitting the gavel. Right after that, there's a person, a woman's hand that comes and puts like the picture right beside her while she's still talking. You'll notice that MTG doesn't have any kind of peripheral, like look over her shoulder like somebody's there. I couldn't find that clean footage. I think that was the doctor to make it funny on Jimmy Kimmel. But people have been putting that out as exactly what happened. I haven't been able to validate it. Therefore, I won't put it out there because I think this part was just Jimmy Kimmel being funny and adding somebody's hand in the middle of her video. But a lot of people have been putting that out there like that representative did that. And I don't think she did. But that's why I say I deal with facts. I'll look it up. I don't trust nobody 100% until I go look it up. So the next thing, that was Mike Johnson trying to get them to pass that bill. And Mike Johnson lost it. Now everybody's making a big deal out of it. I think they're going to continue throughout the weekend. I think they're going to continue through the weekend. At least one of them was saying that, even in that one of those sound bites, that they're going to work through Saturday and Sunday and come back on Monday. So I don't know if they're going to work the entire weekend. I'm not sure. But that's what it sounded like. He said until, maybe just talking about the Republicans are going to do that until they can come out with a better bill. They didn't go into detail about what they want to cut out. Like I said, it's got to be the Medicare, Medicaid, those cuts that they're talking about, because it's just too much. The SNAP also too much. Here's the thing that I want you guys to understand, and no disrespect to anybody, it's just facts. The people, and it's not necessarily about how hard you work or nothing like that. It ain't got to do with that. It's got to do with the area in which you live. A lot of people like, living in rural areas where, we got a house here and the next house may be, a mile down the road or whatever, right? So you start to think like, okay, if you got that much property in between you, and you may own an acre or 4 acres or something like that, you're living in a place that's probably not going to have a lot of businesses. It's going to probably be mostly farms or just, land that you just love and have it. So you start to think there's not a lot of businesses around. So you're making your money off of going 30, 40 miles or 30 to 40 minutes or an hour into the city to come back out. So when you start to realize these communities aren't going to have as much representation as communities that have an apartment building like every block and there's tens of thousands of people within a square mile, they're going to have more representation from the state, get more money. And more than likely, if you're separated from everything and your job may be further away, you may have inherited the land from family, you're not rich, you get a job, you're more than likely going to have some sort of subsidy that you're getting, either for the land, property tax, some type of subsidy for that. If you're a farmer, of course, some type of subsidy for that. You're going to get Medicare, Medicaid because you don't work for a company, you work for yourself, or you work, for part-time in another company. So some of these states, more likely Republican states, these Republican-led states are more on welfare, more on Medicare, Medicaid. All these government systems are mostly in these red states. So in these red states, they need the blue states to subsidize government-wise, to be able to subsidize for the things they don't have. Because in these, like California where I'm at, you got up north, you got all of Silicon Valley, and then there's some that move back. Then you got other like small areas in LA that are their own little, Santa Monica has its own kind of Silicon Valley small area where and Snapchat is in Santa Monica. So you got little areas in which they have these big tech centers, Google somewhere around in Santa Monica too, or near that. So you have that. So you got a lot of money flowing throughout the state. So when you're talking about cutting Medicare, Medicaid, the stereotype is black people on it. That's the stereotype. And the stereotype is black people live in mostly Democratic states. That's the stereotype. It is what it is. So they get racist people, ignorant people, hateful people to vote on stuff that they think people of color are draining them out of, and they end up passing it. And guess what? White people in Virginia, people in Kentucky and Mississippi, you get fucked. And then you're like, how is that? Because you don't read. You don't pay attention to shit. You're tribal-like. You want to be in this core group of white nationalists, or just know you better without any knowledge, or you're in that group of fake information, fake news, and alternative facts. You're in these bubbles where your education is lacking. So therefore you believe the next man or woman next to you. Not being able to have this wealth of information, not going on the internet that much, watching only one news station, not giving yourself a plethora of things, just one tunnel vision. Yeah, those black people are on welfare, those black people on this, that, and the other. Then all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, I get that. After you done voted against it. It's insane, man. I don't have any hair to pull out, but I'll be wanting to pull shit out. I'll be like, yo, how don't you pay attention to shit before it hits the fan? Because your racism, your hatred is stronger than your love of yourself. You're blinded by the hate and disgust of other people that you don't realize they use those people so that you're blinded. They don't care about you either. You're poor. They're rich. They don't give a shit about you. They use you. Without you, they can't get this shit passed. So how do they get? They do studies about this stuff, how to trick you guys into things. They got think tanks specifically focused on how can we fuck our own people over to get what we want. And you don't know nothing about this because you don't look at the think tanks that they have. And what is a think tank? You just live. And when they point to you what to hate, you just hate it. And they tell you it's going to benefit you, you just believe it. And then you realize, wait a minute, I got to pay tariffs? No shit, dipshit. The whole 2 years, this man been talking about lifting the tariffs, putting tariffs on people, and you've been like, yeah, tariffs. China need to pay more, China need to pay more. In this entire time, people with brains have been telling you, hey, you're going to have to pay for that. What are you talking about? Like, and then when it comes in, oh, he's putting in Project 25? Told you. Oh, we got tariffs that we got to pay him? Told you. And you're quiet. Instead of fighting back at the people who lied to you, you cling on to them because you don't want to feel like you're stupid. Hey, here's a bright idea. Why don't you become a learned person and admit the fact that you got and you were stupid? All it takes is you to start reading, and you can go from stupid to learning to educated. It's going to be a long climb to get to intellectual, but still, you're closer to that than a dumbass that just read. And stop reading one thing. Read Fox if you like, but read some of the other ones too, and find the answer in the middle. It's very simple. But you guys make it like, oh, I want it to be real simple. You just want to be spoon-fed like a bird. They chew up the shit and just spit it in your mouth. And you're like, that's good. That's right. Why am I paying more again? Like, ooh, you stupid. Ooh, this is just insane for some of these people. Insane. Don't even think about the best interest of you and your family. This is killing me. This thing what Donald Trump is trying to do, and these Republicans, thank God that 5 of them stepped out of it. And one of them actually mentioned his kids. I'm like, thank God, kids. I don't know whether you're for that child who probably talked to dad and said, Dad, am I going to have to pay for this? Thank God he listened to it if he has little children or grandchildren. Because they're talking about, we already, ladies and gentlemen, our deficit, every time we do a budget, we spend over $2 trillion more than we actually bring in. We bring in about 4.4, something like that, trillion dollars from taxes and so forth. We spend 6 point something trillion. So we're over by $2 trillion plus. And what do we do with that? We borrow it from China, Japan, and others, Qatar and all that, Saudi Arabia. The number 2 people that own our debt in bonds, because that's what it is, the bonds are just buying our debt. The number 2 who own it is Japan is number 1 at 1.1 trillion. China's number 2, which used to be 1 point something trillion in like the early 2000s, 2010, something like that. Now it's at like 700 billion. They're the number 2 because we spend too much. We've been saying we've been spending too much as long as I can freaking remember. So it's like, okay, just have the rich pay more, meaning pay their fair share of taxes, and then we'll figure out where we're at then. Why don't we go in phases? Have the rich pay more one year, their fair share, and see how much more money we get in the budget. Oh, we're only 1 trillion short? Oh, okay. Then let's figure out how, at that point when they're paying their fair share, let's figure out another way to be able to bring in money. Maybe the following year, increase everybody's taxes by a small amount. Oh, we made up the trillion. Perfect. Now instead of paying 15%, I'm paying 17%. Okay, we're not in debt though. Meaning like every deficit, we're not in debt for each year. But as far as the, us paying down our actual debt, 32 trillion or whatever the hell it is, we got to every year have a surplus of some sort in our deficit in order to be able to start paying down. And we already paying with that money we bring in. We're paying down as much as we can, not the principal, but the interest. That's like having a house you're paying for the next 3,000 years. Because all you're paying down is the interest. You've never gotten to the principal. How can you call yourself a conservative? Any one of them, Democrat or Republican, if you're not paying off. Democrats, I would give them the definition of a conservative more than I would give Republicans. It's just a label for Republicans. It's a reality because the Democrats are the only ones who've ever really balanced the budget and paid off money off the deficit. All the rest of them always increase it. Right now, this bill that Donald Trump wants everybody to pass, he only wants to pass it because he wants to give the billionaires what they asked for because they've been giving him everything up front. Now he owes them this bill to pass so that the billionaires get their money. But it's going to add like $4 trillion to our debt. How is this fiscally conservative? It's not. It's a ruse. It's a gimmick. They're not trying to do anything like that. I remember, like, when I was younger, worrying about getting into the business. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, when I start getting into the working world, I can help with, paying taxes, and we can pay out of debt. These people have never thought about paying off the debt. They continually bring it up and up and up. We got to save for our kids. I'm like, all right, cool. We can work for people's kids and maybe get it down so that by the time I get older, then it effed it up even worse. It makes you wonder, they're not trying. If you were, it should be easier than this, right? Because all you got to do is stop spending as much or find a way to make more money. Correct? And even if you're going to bring up the tariffs from 3%, in some situations, again, like it was 8%, some places, if you wanted to bring it up, fine. That's us still paying it. It's still a tax. The American people are still coming out of their butt to be able to do it all. And these rich people aren't doing anything. Now, they give money and different things of that nature, but it's not their fair share. If I was a billionaire, I would be paying my fair share. Even though I didn't have to, I would. Because I am an American. I'm supposed to be giving to you just as much as you're giving. If you're putting in enough money where it's hard for you to get by, and I got everything I ever wanted, and I can't give my fair share, it's not like I'm going to go broke. At that point, it's excessive greed. Think about it. These people want to get a tax cut, right? How much has Elon Musk spent on Donald Trump winning the election? Some numbers have it up to $225 million. Why can't he pay that into taxes? I ain't got it. But you got it enough to gain power that you paid him 200-something million, and then went all over the place trying to get other people elected, throwing $1 million here and $1 million there and $1 million here and 10 million there. You can do all that to gain power, but you couldn't have just increased your taxes by 10% or whatever, 8%, your fair share. This is why you can't believe anything they say, y'all. Nothing. Take care, Lynn. Take care. I see you. Have a good night. Good weekend. It's just not good. Now, one of the things that happened also this week, even today, is that I don't know if you got a chance to see James Comey put out he was walking along the side of the beach, and he saw, made out of shells, 8647. And all it was meaning is that, get rid of 47. They're trying to charge him with trying to get him assassinated. And I think Kristi Noem, no, not Kristi, well, I think it's Kristi Noem, is trying to do something about it. It's just, and I don't know, it's some of the craziest things I ever heard. I don't know if it's Kristi Noem. I think it may be another one of his minions that is trying to do something about it. But they're trying to charge him. For what? I know what 87 or 86 means, and what it colloquially has been, and they've kind of like bastardized it to whatever they want it to be. 86 means just to nix it, get it out of here. It's gone. Doesn't mean to kill, to unalive. That would be a 187. 187 is murder. But 86 is like chill out, cut it out, Get him out of here. You're gone. That's what that means. Now, if you use it in a slang term, and would you really be thinking that slang is something that James Comey is into? Mr. Stiff? No. Walking alongside the beach, took a picture of something, thought it was funny, put it up. They want to try and arrest him and investigate him. That's going to be millions of dollars of our money going into a useless investigation, similar to the one they did against Joe Biden that went nowhere. But, they were supposed to have all kind of information. It was going on Fox every week talking about we got this and we got that, the smoking gun. And then it comes down to the end of it. Oh, we ain't got nothing. $3 to $6 million wasted on absolutely nothing. How are these people calling themselves fiscally conservative? Just wasting money for no reason. These cases should actually have some merit to it. These investigations. You don't have no evidence that this man took a picture of something. You have no evidence that he put it out there. And you're going to spend millions of dollars for somebody who did something like that. I just want y'all to know, nobody needs an incentive. So that little thing is not something that's going to incite somebody to do something. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. As you have seen, you had 2 attempts already. They didn't have, shells on a beach. It's just nonsense. 86 is not murder somebody. 86 is to cancel somebody, get rid of them, meaning like quit. We got to get him out of office. We're done with him. You can have him. That's what it means. But they're going to go waste our money on something stupid like that. It's going to waste it. Another thing that we had, Kristi Noem. I know you guys, I don't know, maybe heard this today, but it's a trip. Kristi Noem supposedly got a pitch from somebody. And it would be them. This regime is the dumbest regime. You got to understand something. When Obama left, that was the last time that the full White House was packed with intellectuals, with people who knew their jobs, people knew what was right, what was wrong. They knew the law. They followed it. They had military people who followed the laws as much as possible. Of course, there was some people, and I'm sure, were not worthy of being there in a sense. They were doing some stupid stuff behind the scenes we don't know about. But we felt safe that these people were protecting us. At least I did. Then the orange turd came in. And when he came in, some of those remnants of those people still there. Remember, Donald Trump was hiring people and firing. I hire the best people and hiring and firing like every other week. If it was like Obama or even Bush at the time, if somebody was quitting, it was because they had been there for 2 years and it's like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I got to get my life back. Go write a book or something. Chill out. I'm tired. Because it's always on. I get that. Donald Trump is like every other week. He's like, who's getting fired this moment? Who's quitting? Who's getting the hell out? Who's jumping ship? Every week. So much so that the White House was never fully employed. They were the people who were around him and that he thought were going to do his bidding in the military, the generals and so forth. They was having to constantly, Mark Esper, one of them, had to constantly tell Trump, you can't do that. It's against the law. It's against the Constitution. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. And this idiot wanted it, not knowing how the country runs. All these people around him, got to give them some credit, because this dipshit was trying to do everything wrong to this country, harm even Americans, shoot Americans, just because he didn't like them protesting and making them look bad. And they protected us. This time around, they got a whole crew of dumbass people. Don't know what they're doing, breaking laws left and right. And Kristi Noem gets this information from one of the producers of Duck Dynasty. Y'all remember Duck Dynasty? And then one of them got caught up with some kind of racist thing he was doing. I don't know if it was a father or whomever it was, but this is a while back ago. But Duck Dynasty, a producer or executive producer from that, pitched Kristi Noem and the DHS a reality show. A reality show so that immigrants can compete to become American citizens. I ain't making this shit up. That's just real. They denied it at first until they couldn't deny it anymore. So they came out with it. The idea said that, yeah, it's true, it was pitched to us, but we're not necessarily going to do it. Well, yesterday you lied and said it wasn't you. It didn't happen. Now you're saying we ain't going to do it. And then they came out with it. Excuse me. It's just insane. These people. That's James Comey. He's being under investigation for the 8-7. I already did that. Oh, I'm sorry about that. The next one is Kristi Noem. It should have came up first, but there it is. It's coming up with this right here. Kristi Noem. DHS is considering reality show where immigrants compete for citizenship. Notice how they say this isn't the Hunger Games for immigrants. That's what the producer behind the pitch, which is from Duck Dynasty. This isn't the Hunger Games. If you have to clarify that it isn't the Hunger Games, it's the Hunger Games. You know that, right? They're rewriting it as we speak because it's the Hunger Games. To think that these people think so little of these people coming into this country that they want them to compete. I was like, say what? You're trying to get these people to compete to be American citizens. Not have a situation where the law actually worked, where they can go through the process of being an American citizen and being proud of American citizen. You're trying to make them, if not the Hunger Games, it's the Korean one, where they're all like walking and stuff and get shot. I mean, X Games. Well, that's not X Games. I forgot the name of that one, but that one, it's crazy. It's crazy. Why would you put? It is. I mean, how do you put human beings who are trying to escape being murdered by gangs and mafia and by just, the worst time of their life? They're afraid and they're trying to get out of a place and they're coming to America that's supposed to be this beacon that we build it to be. And you want them to go and get housed in cages and then pull them out to go shoot your little funky ass show. And whoever wins becomes a citizen, all while you're bringing these South African white people into this country and expediting them in free, but they ain't got to fight for it. You want these people of color to fight for it. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. You can see what they think about people of color. They're going to have them fight to the death. Reminds you of the way they did enslaved black people back in the day, where they had them fight each other. And the one who survived got freedom or had a good meal that evening. They're going to have people just to even think about this. It's insane. Who would say that's a good idea? Or I would look at that dude like, Duck Dynasty, are you on crack? I mean, what are you talking about? Are you serious? You're joking, right? This is the government. This is not a game. This is real shit. But I guarantee you, all they're thinking about is dollar signs. It'll be a hit show. It'll be a hit show. And you know Christy Nolan wants to do it. That's what she wants to be, a star. She all out here doing promos and shit at the prison in El Salvador. It's insane. It is insane. And in this, when you consider this reality show, I'll show you it again. I forgot to actually show you what the deal was. In this reality show, not reality show, in this photo, Christy Noam, you see the back of her head. Okay? She got the little baseball cap on. The men in front of her, like I said, this is another time in which this party lies to its citizens. They went all the way to this country, El Salvador, to take photos and stuff like that of these people, right? To show themselves doing it. You remember, while they were doing it, they literally had, what's his name? Dr. Phil. While they were recording, doing this to people, all of them had cameras out there. He was like one of the dudes talking and shit like that, talking to the ICE agents. None of them had compassion for the people they just gathered up that weren't criminals but couldn't talk. Told them to shut up. They weren't criminals. While it was happening, Dr. Phil didn't have one question of, are they all immigrants, illegal immigrants? They all committed a crime? No. This man's out here talking about, you guys out here working so hard and look at this, and they're all going to be taken, and had cameras in the air and shit, showing the bus about to take off, well lit. They had to light that, y'all. They had to light that, which literally made it what? A production. These men are scared shitless. Where are we going? What's going on? I'm just on the street. These people just gathered me up. Who are you? I don't know. Who are you? Where'd you come from? I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. That's the conversation they're having. Like, where the fuck? Did you commit a crime? No, I didn't. Why the hell are you here? I don't know. Where are we going? They're fearful. While Dr. Phil, these Christy Gnomes, the whole production team, y'all, they had these people sit them all in a row so they could take pictures and shit. This is a production. I came from film and television production. To set up the lighting for which they had that, and also to have the camera angles that they got. They had to have multiple cameras. They had to plan this shit out. This isn't like no just, guerrilla style. And then on top of that, they had all of these drone cameras taking different angles from the rooftop as they was driving by. And then on the way there, photographs of the buses passing by, which means they had to know the entire route in which they set up cameras. This shit took hours, if not days, to set up. Therefore, knowing they were going to do this to these young men and record it for their own visual pleasure. The demonic mentality you have to put that together. These people are not normal. Not giving a shit about the people who are going through it. I know many of those men on that bus were crying their ass off. Who wouldn't? You just being snatched up? No lawyer to speak to? No rights? You're like, wait a minute, I'm in America, right? What the hell? None of that. Some of them went through PTSD. He's probably still going through it. And then when they dropped them off in another country, like, what the flying fuck is this? Then they bent them over and shaved them and did all this other shit. They probably shaved them beforehand, but they put them all over. I'm like, you boy. They had to go through all that. And these people put up a production. And then when they got here, you see this right here in the jail, in the other countries, El Salvador, those men behind them, in front of them rather, those aren't the men they snatched up. Those are the actual criminals that were already there in El Salvador. But they wanted you to think these harsh-looking men, they had to, I promise you, I was in television. I promise you, Donald Trump probably produced this by phone, and said, I need you to get the hardest looking criminals you can possibly find. The ones you know are criminals, the baddest of the bad. And I want you to put them all in front of a camera. And I want you to assume that these are the people that we snatched. Give them the absolute worst, tatted up, scars, everything. I want to see that those gang members, and that's who we're going to talk to. Because it turns out these are the men that are in that Hardin prison, in that country. These are not the men that were snatched up. As you can see, when the men that were in the photographs, not all of them had a whole sleeve of tattoos and nothing like that, because you saw them in those white t-shirts, light skin, didn't have all those tattoos all over their arms. These dudes are tatted up from the neck, from the eyebrow down. Those dudes weren't. They put in real gangsters from that country and made it look like these are the people we snatched. The one gay dude only had 2 tattoos on his wrist. You see any of these kids in here, these guys in here right there with 2 tattoos? They are tatted from the eyebrow down to the foot. And that's a perception they wanted you to see. That's the perception they wanted you to see. Of hardened criminals. That's who we took. That's not who they took. So Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, Dr. Phil put out all this fake information about these men. Videotaped it. Made it look like these are the same men. And then in the house, you got MTG pretending somebody gave the finger when they didn't. Byron Donalds pretending a text came through that really didn't come through. They lie incessantly. And at this point, it is not misinformation. It is not like, oh, I got it, I didn't know. They lie on purpose. And they plan to do it. It ain't something that just pops off. No, they plan to lie. They strategize to lie to the people because they seek power and money. They don't give 2 shits about the citizens. They want to own this country. They're not trying to be in office for a little bit. Donald Trump ain't leaving this power. He wants this for the rest of his life and for his family. Why do you think he's over there gawking at the king and shit and over there in Saudi Arabia? Because he wants to be it. And that's what he's trying to make this country turn into. And he's got the Republicans and the MAGAs already fooled. And he's got the regular people who are Republicans and shit like that, or some independents, kind of leaning toward that way because they're getting rid of the immigrants that they think are taking their jobs. But what they're doing is they're taking away all of our freedoms. And they're lying to get there. They have no problem lying. This right here, Kristi Noem, complete lie. And she knows it. They gathered the worst men they can find as far as crime goes and tried to make it seem as though those are the people they took over there, knowing that the people they took over there didn't look like criminals. Not all of them. It's sad, y'all. It really is. And they don't want to give these kids back. It's just terrible. Reality show. That is insane. Oh, and did you guys hear this fool wants a parade? On his birthday. Now, it was estimated at one point it could be up to $90 million. Other people have brought that number down. I don't know what they did to bring it down because they brought it down half of that. I don't know what happened, but now it's their estimate is $45 million. Our country is strong by itself. Our country is strong by itself. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to prove that we're strong. We don't need a parade. We spend more on our military than any other country by multiples. Hundreds even than any other country spends on its military. These people show you their military to prove to you and to their citizens that they're powerful enough that you should not rebel. They do it for celebration for some, others for fear, so their people see what kind of military I yield, so you citizens better not even think about it, because they have no problem sending their military to harm their own citizens. In this country, that's illegal to do. And Donald Trump wants to have that just so he can do it. It's insane. So I don't know what our country's gonna do with all this stuff, man. We gotta figure something out. When you talk about, when earlier, I forgot to mention the 86 Donald Trump, supposedly 86-47, right? They're talking about, oh, you know, this is like against the law, and we're gonna do an investigation. Did you know at the same time when he was running for office, one of the stores that was representing him, I can't say it was Donald Trump's store, but they were supporting Donald Trump at the time. I'm sure he knew of it. But this is what was going on when Biden was president. Yeah. 86-46. When I die, don't let me vote Democrat. Yeah. And also Donald Trump had President Biden, he retweeted or retruths, whatever it was, a President Biden hogtied in the back of a truck. He had Hillary Clinton and Obama and Biden. There was a big driving poster with them behind bars, and Donald Trump had them locked up. Was there an investigation, do you remember, on Donald Trump for saying 86-46? And they're going to try and waste our money. They're going to try. They're going to do it. They're going to waste our money on an investigation for something they did too. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. But anyway, I like I said, this stuff is like, it gets on my nerves about a lot of stuff that they do day to day, throughout the week. But I'm gonna calm down now and get to some of you guys, my members who are here tonight. I see you, Monica Meadows. Yes, it is more projection. It really is, and it's sad. And there's really nothing that at this point we can do about it, except for sit around and wait for this stuff to kind of like blow up and be what it is. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. We got Monica here. Thank you for being here. One of our members, Kristen Thompson, another member. Appreciate you. What did you say? Oh, you're talking about your cats. Who else was here? I see a lot of you here. I give the call outs to the members. Benny Loco, how you doing? Good to see you. Going back even further. Thanks for anybody who sent me any donations. I appreciate it via any of the things on the screen. I think that's it. I don't want to miss anybody. I'm going back to the top. It's been a minute. Cindy was here. I don't know if she still is. Cindy S., I appreciate you. Most definitely. Give me another minute and I'll see everybody else that came in. Rude and the Planet Janet. Good to see you. She comes to the music shows. I'm going to do that probably in another half hour here on TikTok. Yeah, that was all the members who came. I appreciate you. Good luck, old lady Patel and Pam Bondi are just trying to pull a fast one with a deflection. They really are. And I just want them to get caught. Like I said earlier, I heard it's not my idea, but it was John Leguizamo who said that that we need to start charging the people who are breaking the laws for Donald Trump and get them out of office wherever they're at, whether it be Kash Patel, whether it be Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, all of the above. Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's gonna be hard to get her because she has some kind of immunity. But wait a minute though, she did buy stock. Bondi did too. Buy and sell stock at an inopportune time. So if Martha Stewart went to jail, they might be able to go to jail on that. Oh, you still here, Sandy? Okay, good to see you. Looking for cracks in my eyelid. Most definitely. Why you suck there? What's that all about? Woke Mike. But anyway, I'm about to get up out of here. But you know how it is. It's I don't know why my screen has been tripping lately. Technical issues, but it is what it is. We're about to go I'm about to do another show on TikTok for music, old school music. If you know my Chocolate Music Lab on there, it's we have 2 old school. You get to choose 2 songs requests. I play my list, I play your list, and then I close it out. So that's going to be a long night for me tonight. I always love to give you the facts as I know them. Still working on making this a better platform and starting to offer. We're going to start offering like solutions for people. That's one thing I do. So we'll see that happen here coming up soon. But yeah, that's what's going on. You enjoy listening and appreciate your lots. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. The red star mean, am I a delinquent? No. Red star means as the numbers move, the stars means how long you've been a member. So as you move up, as like you've been a member for a month, 3 months, 5 months, stuff like that. It has a ledger when you join. You should be able to see it on your page of what each ledger means. So maybe like 6 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, things like that. So nah, it doesn't mean anything. It'll end up changing as you stay a member. Yeah, that's what that means. It's a loyalty badge, Monica. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah. I don't want anybody to think that I'm giving you a red mark. It's a good thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna have to fix this, but it's gonna be like half the screen. I'll see you guys. Thank you, being local. I appreciate you. Happy anniversary. I'll see you guys when I see you. Can't look at this. What is that all about? I don't know how that even happened. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It just came up and it won't go away. Technology is a trip for me. On my end, it's a trip. And I don't know why it's doing that, to be honest. But oh, I see. Look at me. Let's see if I can technically fix this. As we hear, I'm going to see if I can get rid of this technical issue. Because I think it had an update. I think this is what happened. We will see in a second if it works. If not, I'm just going to be out. I got to get going. Got to go eat before I pass out. Thanks, everybody. Much love to y'all. I'll see you when I see you.